Well, I'm generally interested in the human species. I'm fascinated. I love people. And I've come to realize that most people are not bad. Most people are good. They just do bad and weird things, and it's just fascinating, you know. And as people do bad things, weird things, those events make, for me, the most interesting stories, because they are like an example. They're like the Greek drama always is an example for the rest of the world, isn't it?
Northern Ireland shows you that the cycle of violence is breakable. From the political standpoint of Northern Ireland, it's emerged from 30 years of conflict. It is showing the rest of the world, it doesn't matter where you are, in Kashmir, in Pakistan, India, in the Middle East, in the Balkans, that where there is a will, conflict can be resolved through dialogue. Now, what happens in this story, which is what was interesting about our film, because I was last here 6 years ago with Bloody Sunday. A very different film about a very different event and a very different time in Northern Ireland. The challenges are now, what stories do you tell about Northern Ireland? Because it's important to move forward, but it's also important not to forget the legacy of the past. This film is about the legacy of violence, but it's about a way of navigating through that impact and seeing how you can move forward. And I think what was vital was that Oliver, a renowned film director, and the examples you use are great. I mean, that's Experiment. I love that study of the human species. I think it was vital that we had someone not from Northern Ireland to come in to be at the core of the film and be able to tell those two stories. I think that's a very good question. I think you've almost answered the question in itself, because I think for Northern Irish actors, at the risk of sounding like an actor, which is ghastly, I think it's a bit like a Northern Irish actor tackling the situation. It's like an actor tackling King Lear, in a way. It is our conscious or often subconscious incumbent responsibility, instinct, but nevertheless privilege, And as much as this film can appeal universally, unquestionably, I think for Liam and I it was a personal odyssey, and I'm not quite sure if it was catharsis, but it's part of our own process about understanding where we came from, and understanding how sometimes film can inform and educate as well as entertain. Because the film is a mixture of things. It has got an important message, but also it's a suspense thriller. It's filmic.